Welcome everybody to this week's edition of Valpo Football Preview, along with head coach Dave Cicchini. This is Todd Eichelt. We're brought to you as always by the South Shore Convention and Visitors Authority. The Crusaders in a wild one on Saturday. You guys played really well, did a lot of really positive things. Unfortunately couldn't hold on to a two-score lead late in the ball game, and although it's a 48-47 defeat at the hands of Morehead State, I know you look back and say, yeah, we let it get away, but there were a lot of positives.
Without question, there was a lot of positives in the game, and you got to give credit to Morehead State team and coaching staff that didn't give up, didn't quit when they were down. We were very close to winning the game, 17 seconds away to be exact, but there was absolutely a lot of great positives to take away from the game. Our defense stepped up, played a great first half of football, had some mental lapses in the second half, but on the whole, continue to improve. On the offensive side of the ball, we had some really consistent drives. We knew going in that we had to score with the big play, and we were able to do that. And we also knew that to help our defense out in the second half, that we needed to grind out a long drive. And at the beginning of the fourth quarter, we were able to put together a 14-play drive that took about 7 minutes off the clock, and that was outstanding as well. And then when you look at the special teams aspect, that's where we really stood out, having a punt return for a touchdown and a kickoff return for a touchdown. Anytime you can have that just generates so much momentum for your football team. So there's a lot of positives.
I was going to say, the special teams have come a long way over the past month.
They have.
Because a month ago, the special teams play was not good.
Right.
And yes, the returns are great, but your punter, Alex Kozlowski, punting the ball significantly better now than he was a month ago.
Yep. No, I think we're, as a whole, all three phases of the game, we're playing with a little bit more confidence. The experience, the younger guys, with each passing game, you can see them just become more comfortable with things and have adjusted to the speed of the game. And we've still got a ways to go. I mean, there's no doubt we're not there yet, but it's nice to see us be as competitive as we've been this past 2 weeks.
Well, it's been an exciting 3 weeks, I think, for Jared Morgan. This is interesting. Here's a guy who really came in. You guys had played him on defense, trying to find a spot for him. Stood out in special teams, and you kind of looked at it and said, all right, maybe we got to find a way to get him on the field a little more. And this past week on offense, correct me if I'm wrong, the first time he really ran any plays with the offense at all in practice, and suddenly he becomes a big part of the game.
Yeah, we put a small package together for him on the offensive side of the ball just to try to get it in his hands, particularly with Gassar out with an injury. We felt like after seeing all the things that he was doing and the explosive plays that he was making on special teams, we thought, well, let's put together a package. He played some offense in high school. He was a versatile player. In fact, when we recruited him, we told him we weren't sure where you were going to fit in here. Running back, receiver, DB, and DB was the spot that we felt like he was going to be able to play the fastest at way back in August. But with the Gassar being down, we decided to give him a shot and gave him a small package of plays to learn, and he did a great job during the week in practice. And we said, hey, we got to let's get the ball in his hands on Saturday, and when he did, he stepped up and made plays.
There's a good chance Andrew Gassar will play this week at Dayton, and if he does that mean less time on the field for Jared Morgan, or are you still going to find ways to get him involved?
No, I think we have to. He's done so many positive things. If we're able to get Gassar back on Saturday, we'll find a role for him, whether that's in the backfield or split out wide or in some type of capacity as we game plan. We'll have another, hopefully expanded set of plays as he gets more comfortable with the offensive system and just kind of move on from there.
A tall task this Saturday. Dayton, clearly one of the better teams in the league. They did suffer a conference defeat for the first time this past Saturday, and a tough loss. It's kind of similar situation to what you guys went through. They had to lead for much of the game, and then late San Diego actually scored a couple touchdowns and won the game by 11. But obviously Dayton is one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the league, and let's talk about some of the problems they'll pose for you.
Well, I think it starts with their rushing attack. They do an outstanding job of controlling the line of scrimmage. They've got a number of backs who can hurt you, so they're deep and they're experienced. And I think when they're really clicking as a football team, that's what's driving them. And you see some of the victories that they've had that's really catapulted them to success. And they are a very dangerous team. Been a little bit inconsistent. You watch some of the film and you watch what happened to them, against San Diego, and you can see, some chinks in their armor, but when they're on their game, I think they're probably the most talented team in the league.
They defeated Morehead State, I think, 41-7 a couple weeks ago. They gave up 48 points against Davidson a few weeks before that. So when you say inconsistent, that's what you're talking about, right?
Absolutely. And they've just had, little lapses in concentration. It's turnovers in one game. It's a bunch of penalties in another, just that seem to keep opposing teams in it with them. But when they're going, which most of the year they've been firing on all cylinders, they've been getting after people.
Okay, but you can stay with them by doing all the little things, right? Special teams play, taking care of the football, sustaining drives by picking up first downs. You're going to need to do all those little things, especially going on the road, right?
Right. I told the guys, if we can play like we did the first half against Moorhead in terms of all three phases of the game, getting a play on special teams, some nice drives on offense, and only giving up 14 points in the first half to Moorhead. If we can play like that, we'll have a chance. But we're going to have to keep our focus up and our concentration going, and our execution has to be going for 60 minutes.
Good luck on Saturday.
Great. Thanks, Todd.
For head coach Dave Cicchini, this is Todd Eichau. Thanks for joining us this week on Valpo Football Preview, brought to you by the South Shore Convention and Visitors Authority.